It's getting dark out here. What's going on, people? We're sitting here in the dark. We're driving on our way to Queens. King of Chaos here. The boss man, Joey B. He's right there. He's sharing this video. And if you're watching, by all means, please, feel free to share this. If you're watching, comment, like. I said share. Do everything you can. Let's get this out to more people. Let's make this a fun little party for the next 15 or so minutes. How you feeling today, boss man? Surprisingly, we usually get he's very angry, but he's doing all right today. I don't know. We don't quite know what to talk about. Maybe I was thinking about hitting on some pet peeves in wrestling. What do you think about that, Joe? I know Joe has had a very active day in terms of yelling at fucking yokels, but I don't know. I've got a couple of pet peeves and things to get off my chest. Things that I cannot stand in professional wrestling. Hey, what's going on, Sheila? Joe, why don't you start? What are some things in, not necessarily the business of pro wrestling, but more like something that you see in wrestling, related to wrestling, that are just pet peeves? Some people might like it, you just fucking can't stand it.
Since you were doing promo class, and I'll say something about promos.
Oh, cool.
Okay, so not so much in the big time, in WWE or whatever, at the indie level, or people that think they're in indie level, when they're cutting a promo, and they keep saying, and tonight, that shit fucking drives me crazy.
Yeah.
Or,
you see, those are all the ones.
That's, you talking about that earlier. So, but to me, when they say, and tonight, I just, it's like, come on.
Chubby Daddy, go ahead with your question. Lay it on us. I think one of my big pet peeves, and I mean, it's something, I guess, kind of weird. It's not often you see it, but I fucking hate it when it happens. So there are independent wrestling companies or independent wrestlers that'll do something where they'll cut promos on people that don't work for them or other things. Pretty much going out there and like trying to create some kind of like controversy or create some kind of business. But in reality, there's no payoff. So let's think about it. The whole point of a promo, it's a promotion. You're looking to promote something.
Hold on, before you go, is that what we're doing? We're talking about promos, or what in general now?
No,
that was just my pet peeve.
No, my pet peeve was also promos. It's one of the things that bothered me. So promos, if there's no payoff to it, if there's no reason for it, what are you promoting? You're not necessarily promoting yourself. So I'll give you the big example that drove me nuts is when on TV you had, what do you call it? What's the name of the tag team? The fucking, the two guys in the face paint, WWE now.
Oh, the
Ascension.
When they were shitting on the Road Warriors?
When they were shitting on the Road Warriors. It's like, well, yeah, you're calling out the Road Warriors, and it's like this cheap heat, but
they're not going to wrestle you.
Yeah, they can't wrestle you.
Well, the other ones, who else are they making for Demolition and Powers of Pain, or no?
No, I mean, the Road Warriors is a big one.
There was other team. I think it was the Powers of Pain.
Oh, whatever it was, but you're not going to wrestle these guys, so why are you doing that? You're getting this cheap heat, and there's no payoff to it. So it just makes no sense to me. And there are people on the independents who, like, will call, other people out or try and create some kind of business or do something where, like, oh, this, and they'll cut the promo, and it's like, well, there's no payoff. Because I've seen guys like...
Can you imagine if somebody did that in a company here?
Well, if you think about it, like, let's, for example, like, if somebody came out and was like, let's say fucking Jimmy Doo-Doo, whatever, cuts a promo on Warriors of Wrestling. Oh, Warriors of Wrestling, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. And it's a great promo, but I'm not going to fucking use that guy. Or I have literally no interest in using him. I didn't want to use him. And I'm not going to because he fucking calls us out. It's just stupid. There's no payoff. People don't understand what promo is. You're looking to promote a show, promote a match, make people be interested in something that you're doing. And if there's just nothing there's no content, like, you're fucking up.
That all came from the era of ECW and shit. No, I think that's where it all came from. But
also ECW also... excuse me. The difference was ECW...
No, ECW had... They called the promo outlets on USWA. The whole, that I get. But then people on the indies think that they don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Well, people on the... Yeah, exactly. Tim Plow thinks that Jimmy Doo-Doo needs to be world champ. I agree with you.
People asking questions.
Yeah, there's a few.
Right.
How handsome is Trajan Horn? He is the fucking sexiest motherfucker in the world. The chubby daddy is sexy like a motherfucker. Sheila, I have a question, but it's not about wrestling. Well, ask it, Sheila. Go right ahead. Christopher asks, am I ready for Saturday night? I am ready for Saturday. I'm ready for every night this weekend where I'll be kicking ass. And then Remo asks, what do you see myself in 10 years? I plan on celebrating the 10-year anniversary. Are you asking me this question? That's a fucking joke. Who fucking did that? What's his face? Famous comedian. Why am I blanking on his name right now? It's one of his jokes. Anyway. More pet peeves, Joe. Mitch Hedberg, that's the comedian.
And I know I have a bunch. It's just nothing's coming to mind right now. Guys going over their time. The pet peeves are things that piss me off.
As a promoter, yeah. Well, so no, you know,
I'll tell you what fucking pet peeves are. Fucking guys hanging out in the fucking crowd doing a show. We're walking in and out through the entrance doing fucking other people's fucking entrances.
That's more as a promoter on a show. I can understand that. Heads up.
I'm trying to get over here. It's fucking trying.
Yeah, Joe's, you know, we're nearly dying here. So one of my big pet peeves, again, Joe mentioned guys sticking to their times. Again, it's so fucking disrespectful if, like, someone on a car gives you on a card. And it's one thing if, like, you're given, like, 10 minutes for a match and you go 12. It happens. If you're given 10 minutes and you go 15 to 20, you're fucking over other people on the card who now have to get their time cut.
And you're showing you can't follow directions.
Well, I mean, yeah, but most people don't give a shit about that because the indies are the Wild West in a lot of cases. Sure. To me, it's just, I'm always the guy, because I always stick to my time, but I'm always in a situation. Really? Really?
Yeah, really.
When was the last time I didn't stick to my time? Go ahead, Joe.
You've done it in the past.
In the past, when? Tell me when.
I don't know exact dates.
Oh, so the guy who edits all the matches.
That's how I know, but I don't know the exact shows.
What was the last match? I've wrestled 11 at least for you this year. Right. Name one.
I can't even remember what the last show was.
Of course. Sometimes when you do drugs. Stay off drugs, kids.
Yes.
Yeah, so fucking stick to your times. It fucking fucks everyone else off. It's not fun. What else do we got? What else is a pet peeve of mine that I can't stand in pro wrestling? Wow. If Jimmy Doo-Doo wants to go 30 minutes in the opener, you fucking let him. Listen, Jimmy Doo-Doo and the Musketeer can go, you know, all the time they want because they can do what they want. I remember the first fucking match I ever refereed. It was my first show that I ever did at Johnny's. Musketeer went over his time. And he was the guy with the most experience there. So, well, I learned.
You want to talk about the Wild Wild West? There was no fucking structure there.
No,
so, I can't blame the guy.
My big thing,
Did they even have times?
They did. Johnny, this is a 15-minute time limit, and they went over 15 minutes, and Johnny had to count them down.
It's time to go home, baby.
Yep, we got one of those. What other pet peeves do I have? I hate seeing on a show, and again, maybe this is just me. You know, you people listening, let me know what you think of this. I'm all about the agile big men. I'm a huge, Bam Bam Bigelow fan, and, fucking Big Bossman was a guy who could move his ass around the ring. But I hate it when you have, like, a dude who's, like, legitimately bigger than anyone else in the card, and he's doing, or at least attempting to do cruiserweight shit.
That's why they wouldn't let the Big Show do moonsaults.
Right. I mean, that's a big pet peeve of mine. It's like,
because if he could do it, what's the matter with Rey Mysterio?
Well, right. Well, it doesn't matter if Rey Mysterio, but more importantly, it's like, well, if you're going to go ahead and you're going to do that kind of shit, what then makes you a big guy? I mean, there's nothing, if you're going to sit there and, like, that was always the thing that drove me nuts about the Headhunters. If you remember them, the two big fat...
the twins.
Yeah, the fat twins. They would do all this fucking, like, moonsaults and off the top rope shit, and it's like, well, don't y'all realize that you're fucking 400 pounds apiece? Like, I don't know, like, I would think that a big motherfucker like that could be able to throw people around, especially, and they wrestle in Japan a lot. A lot of those dudes are smaller than them. It's like, throw them around, but no, they'd rather fucking moonsault. Just blew my mind. Again, not saying that, like, every big guy has to wrestle like a big guy. Fucking Rex Lawless is one of the most agile dudes I've ever seen, and that guy is fucking massive. But it's different where, like, Rex can sit there and, like, choke bomb you and fucking press you and all that shit, and then hits you with a fucking Hurricane Rana, which is a huge difference than fucking, if you're a big guy and you're like a bump machine, or, you know, you're sitting there trying to get over all the fucking high spots you can do. Just, you know, do what you do well. Don't try and, you know, fuck around like that. Oh, tremendous. Let's see. Like Braun Strowman. I don't know, does Braun Strowman do agile things? I just thought he would fucking murder people.
No, I think he was supposed to run the ring quick.
Yeah, he just murders people. What else? What other pet peeves you have as a fan of wrestling? Stick to being a fan, Joe.
As a fan of wrestling? I don't know. I wouldn't call it pet peeve. You know, I wouldn't call it a pet peeve. One thing that annoys me about wrestling today is storylines don't last long. They kind of end pretty quick.
Well, I think I might be able to. I can understand that kind of because it's not like if you remember back in, you know, the time where you became a fan, there was wrestling. How many times a week was there like new wrestling?
Well, you had so you had WWF. Let's just say WWF.
Yeah.
11 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock at night, and you had 10 or 11 o'clock at night on Saturday, and on Sunday at noon if you had cable. Where I didn't at first, you had a song called All American Wrestling.
Right.
On USA Network.
But it was mostly jobber matches.
Oh, yeah, it was all... Oh, then you had primetime on Mondays.
Right, you had mostly jobber matches, and, you know, the other big thing coming through on that was the pay-per-views were a lot less.
Well, at first you only had one.
Right.
And then you had another.
So the big shows they would build to, there was a lot less of it, so you had more time in between. A lot of the stuff was jobber matches, so you didn't have anything else going on. I think I understand now why things are so, you know, quick. It's in and out because the attention span is so much, and there's so many hours of wrestling, so much content for them to put out that it's just there's no time to really develop storylines like a year like they used to. I mean, even with like the NWO storyline with Sting, where like for a year they built
that one to me went too long. I know you were a fan of that. I wasn't.
But I think the reason that it was able to work was because they didn't, like, it wasn't like Sting does something different every week the whole time. You know what I mean? Like, for weeks they had the fake Sting, and, like, before that they would call it, nothing would happen. And then it might be the fake Sting, it might be the rest. So it was like everything was different. So they could build that for so long. And it was better. But it was also, again, Nitro was 2 hours. And then WCW Saturday Night, it was all jobber matches for the most part. So, I mean, you had less content to put out there. They couldn't have done that when, you know, Nitro was 3 hours and Thunder was 2 hours. They could never have done that same storyline. And even with that, I mean, the people who were running shit at that time with the 3 and 2 hours was some horseshit. Fucking dookie booking. I know fucking CPA is a huge fan of that shit.
Of what?
Of fucking Vince Russo's shit booking.
Oh, is he really?
Because he likes it fucking because it's shitty. Not because he thinks it's good. Unless I'm fucking wrong. Unless CPA genuinely loves...
When Russo was booking Austin shit, though, that was pretty entertaining.
Right, but here's the thing. If you throw 10 ideas at a fucking wall and one of them sticks, it's a little different than throwing...
Still his idea, though.
But it's still different than him throwing 10 ideas at a wall and using all 10.
Oh, right. I'm not saying, you know, him being like Vince McMahon would stop him, but it's still his... That era was very entertaining. It was must-see TV.
It was. But after a while...
In fact, on the Pritchard podcast, they were just talking about The Rock, I think 96, 97, or 98.
No, it's definitely, I mean, you give him the credit where it's due. It definitely was something completely different. It was must-see TV. I give him all that shit. But again...
When he went to WCW, he could do whatever he wants, and you've seen the final outcome. Right?
Again, when you throw 10 ideas at a fucking wall and one sticks, you use it. Instead of picking up 9 ideas from the floor because you like them. Again, what drew money and what didn't draw money? Fucking, did Oklahoma draw money? No. Did fucking...
That was just stupid.
General Hugh G. Rection, did that draw money? No. Did fucking...
That was all Russo?
Yeah, I believe so. Did, like... Here's the thing. Who was the only female to draw under Russo?
I don't even know.
Well, I mean, actually, there's 2. But I think one can legitimately be put to Russo.
Ooh.
Sable. People bought Sable's t-shirts. They bought all of her shit.
Yeah, but she was around before Russo.
Sable was a Russo creation.
You sure?
100%. She was there. The Sable character, Sable is a wrestler, Sable is everything. That was Russo. But in addition to that, how many fucking giant boobied blonde women did Russo fucking use? Countless.
Yeah.
Countless. But only one got over. You throw 10 ideas at a fucking wall, and one gets over.